Greetings, fellow Gothamites. Tiki here,
And BlueDragonFive.
and we're back to recap the 9th episode of Gotham's second season. It's Fox's retelling of the Dark Knight mythology. So join us as we venture into Batman's birthplace.
And explore Gotham.
Yes. And tonight we're talking about the 9th episode, like I said, A Bitter Pill to Swallow. The episode that Hugo Strange probably should have been introduced in, but wasn't. What's up with that? Come on, where's our Hugo? Where's our BD Wong?
I think he's on his way.
I know. I think we're going to have to wait until after the fall.
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, we'll see about that. Anyways, BlueDragonFive, let me turn off my webcam because it's getting a little laggy, and I think people would rather look at my avatar than a laggy-ass camera. So there we go. Let's make this an audio podcast. All right, so we're back, BlueDragonFive. We've been gone from Gotham for a while, unfortunately. It is all my fault, of course. I hold all the blame, as I should, as you know that I deserve.
Yep.
Yeah. I've just been sick, migraines, whatnot. So, but we're doing it. We're doing it now. Last week's episode was Bitter Pill to Swallow. This week's episode was The Son of Gotham. So tonight we're going to crack both of them out, starting, of course, with chronologically the 9th episode of the show of the second season, A Bitter Pill to Swallow. All right, BlueDragonFive. So obviously this was an improvement from the disaster that was the previous episode before this one.
Uh-huh.
That's all you got to say, just uh-huh.
Anything would have been an improvement.
You don't even want to acknowledge that last episode. You're just like, all right, just move on. Let's
as little as possible, I want to reference that last one. I mean, these two we did get in the meantime. I mean, they've been a vast improvement.
They've been good.
They've been much compared to that. They've been a vast improvement.
Yeah, I've had issue. I have a little bit of issue with some of the things that go down in this episode. Not much. I thought
they're on the right track at least. They're on the right track at least.
Sure. And episode 10 in particular is really
good. 10 was a big. It's a building improvement. So
sure.
So we start the episode, Galavan, picking up from Galavan's arrest, and it's like in the papers and everything. We open up a really kind of cool opening. Or Tabitha's going to a bar that's revealed to be a secret.
Don't forget the ha graffiti.
Yes.
Now that is a good way to keep Jerome's spirit alive.
Yes. So happy about that. So Tabitha goes into a bar. It's revealed to be a secret assassin's den. Once you say the counter phrase, when you order a Highsmith Royale and with no ice, and you also give the bartender a little bit of cash as your entrance fee, you're allowed admittance into the assassin's den. And it's very reminiscent of instantly what I thought it was before it was revealed to be an assassin's den, just given like all the kind of the gambling setup in there and everything, the bar setup. I thought it was it reminded me a lot of the animated series where you'd have these back alley kind of gambling dens in Batman the Animated Series, where like Boxy Biggs or other mobsters in Gotham just have like them. They're kind of doing like prohibition era like stuff behind the scenes going on there,
It definitely, it totally reminded me of something out of like The Great Gatsby.
Yeah, it just reminded me of just that kind of classic kind of like illegal gambling going on the side there. But like the thing in Gotham's like it's behind the most seedy place. You have these upscale business places like people in like 3-piece suits kind of gambling like it's Vegas and Gotham, which I always loved. And at first it looked like that, but then it was kind of revealed to be this assassin's. And regardless, it's still kind of a neat little homage and just kind of
it is.
It's fleshing out Gotham more, which I really like. And this is kind of in the same vein of the Merc.
The Merc, which was an awesome idea earlier on this season.
I mean, I love this whole Assassin's Den, this underground kind of Assassin's hangout place. I really loved it. And also, I love our new character here. Unfortunately, she doesn't really have like a proper name because her nickname and the thing she's listed as.
My notes gave her a proper name. You want to know what my notes gave her?
What?
Take a guess.
What?
Evil Peggy Carter.
Oh, I didn't get that at all.
I'm sorry. She looks like Peggy Carter to me. She's got the same kind of like 1940s hairdo going on.
I just called her what IMDb has called her for now, which is still kind of no, it's not the best of names, but it's kind of ominous, kind of neat. The Lady.
The Lady.
That's literally what she's listed as, the Lady, and it's kind of ominous. It's just, I don't know.
I
It's like
kind of like that. I kind of like that.
So I mean, she's listed as the Lady, and I don't know. It's kind of like that. It's just kind of, oh yes, she meets with the Lady.
I don't know. Like I said, to me, I just her hair and obviously the British accent. She just kind of reminded me of like a Star Trek Bizarro version of Peggy Carter.
No, Peggy Carter with a goatee. That's evil.
Yes,
Star Trek version. A goatee and eyeliner. That's evil Star Trek version. So, anyway, so Tabitha meets with the Lady, who is essentially she's the dispatch. She's the dispatch of this Assassins Club and the broker. She kind of orchestrates the deals, but mainly she's in charge of dispatch. She owns the place, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the very least, she gets jobs for the various assassins who are in the place, who are just kind of like hanging out until their next assignment. Now, what I really loved about this, Tiki, is that this reminded me a whole lot of in the Deadpool comics. I know it's a different thing, but it's a very similar setup to how Deadpool operates in the Joe Kelly era of Deadpool comics, where which you most likely will be seeing something like this in the Deadpool movie, where he goes to a place called Hell House, and it's kind of like a little bookie's place, and it's just like a place where the mercenaries get drunk and hang out until they get their assignments. And there's this guy named Patch, who is the dispatch guy, and he basically he gets like a little feed in on like who people need mercenaries for, what the job is, and he kind of finds a mercenary, gives him a little. Patch or the dispatch person takes a little cut of the action, but they get the job set up.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, that's what the Lady's purpose is, and I really just kind of love that setup. It's kind of the old mercenary kind of orchestration there.
And then, much like the Merc, we get some logic behind the pricing, which is nice.
Yeah. So
personal cost extra, so does cops.
But first of all, I mean, the Lady recognizes Tabitha, just like a sister to the mayor, and asking, why aren't you doing the job? I see you're very, very dedicated, very good at your job. Why are you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? My aim's a little off.
Mm-hmm.
So it's personal, so that's extra. We go to extreme measures to get the job done. So like, don't worry, we're going to definitely get this job done. All the little things she's factored into the cost. A lot of money to kill someone in Gotham.
But their guarantee is that, you give us the job and the job gets done. Simple as that.
Yeah. Again, I love this whole setup of the Lady and her operation here. Just kind of this classic mercenary setup. She gets that job done to get her commission fee, and it's a place of honor and a place of business.
Sure.
And
the
basically,
question is,
who's she hiring the assassins to kill?
Oh boy, who is
I
it?
love this setup. I just love the musical kind of transition too. Of just like kind of this rock and bar music's playing, and it's like says shows a picture of who she wants to kill, and she's hiring assassins to kill Jim Gordon. And then it just cuts to like the punchline being, then it cuts to Gordon. What he's doing is completely unsuspecting of a whole assassination plot going on. So let's see. So Gordon's at the hospital. He's getting the word from the doctor that Barbara is comatose. The only state I ever want to see Barbara in is just kind of battered, bruised, and beaten, and barely conscious, really.
What about insane? Weren't we having fun with insane Barbara for a while there?
Yeah, okay, fine. Well, insane, but
it's funny. It's like she got insane, but then she almost kind of got too insane, and she kind of had to get wound down again. I don't know. It's like this Barbara just kind of has to keep resetting herself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, all right, this is fun, but no, okay, let's tame it back. Let's have her get another injury, and then and then kind of let her loose again.
Again, the problem wasn't that she was. The insanity wasn't exactly the problem. It's just her plot was off. That was the issue. Like everyone else around her was acting dumb, and then of course her plot just had a big plot hole in it. Of like, well, no, there are no secrets. What are you trying to extract from these people?
Right.
It just made no sense. But aside from that, the craziness worked fine. But again, either crazy or completely unconscious and clinging to life, that works fine for me. So basically, Gordon's kind of getting closure on her in the hospital. She's comatose state, and then she's going to be moved to the medical wing at Arkham, the only place that really has the means to take care of her at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Jim's closure for the case, really. That's why he's there. Meanwhile, Penguin awakens to Edward Nygma, who needles him the instant he wakes up and panics, and apologies in advance.
Hello, sleepyhead.
As you can imagine, Penguin has a right to be a little taken off his guard. Like, oh my god, because he was barely conscious when he just ran into Enigma. He's passed out, literally. Enigma.
This literally feels like the start of a creepypasta. It's like, I woke up and there was this weird man standing over me, and he injected me, and I fell back to sleep, not knowing what this weird man would do to me next.
But seriously, this whole arc of the episode here, is the Penguin Riddler stuff, is the best part of this episode.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And again, he's telling Penguin it's for his own good, because again, it's because his injuries are really severe, and he's trying to explain it to the Penguin before he starts to get up. Then she injects him again, he just injects him, to knock him out.
We have a big night ahead.
Very cool, very cool.
Oh yeah. And then we follow that by something that is exceedingly not cool, which is the Barbara storyline kind of unfortunately bleeding over and having a residue on this episode.
But luckily, I mean, just talking about it in passing is much better than actually seeing it unfold.
Oh, yeah, I agree, but it still annoys me that it's there. It's just, I have written down in my notes just like, Lee and Jim, relationship drama, blah, blah, blah.
If only they just could have compressed that whole thing into a recap and just we lost that episode somehow, Like, oh, sorry, lost it. Oh yeah, so just Barbara had a crazy scheme, didn't pan out. Now she's in the hospital. Yeah. You can imagine how good that was, and then it's you can imagine much better than actually turned out.
Let's go get some milkshakes. We'll talk about it over lunch.
But Jim, it's lunch. Okay, anyway, so Jim's talking to Leslie, and trying. I love this. Get some nice couple banner at the beginning of this. It's Leslie trying to diffuse the tension with the snoring banter, saying like, "Oh, did you leave because I snore?" I mean, I've heard wake up the neighbors and all that stuff. It's cutesy, which is nice. It's okay. But Jim's dead set on closing the book on Galvan by getting evidence to corroborate Mayor James's testimony, which of course is going to play in big time to our next episode. So the next step in that plan is to go with Barnes to Galvan's penthouse to find that evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so Jim says he couldn't sleep because basically Jim's story, if he couldn't sleep, and that's why he left early in the morning, is kind of instantly found out by Leslie, and that he actually was visiting Barbara in the hospital. That
obviously would upset Lee a little bit.
A little bit, and then
this woman did just try and kill him. She's been basically on a rampage to kill Lee since the beginning of the season. So
Now Gordon does have a good rationale here. He says, it was part of a case, and it's not. Then Leslie counteracts that by saying, it's not jealousy. She's the devil, which I love that line out of context.
Well, yeah, because obviously she is. Oh boy, she's put us through a lot of trouble.
Yeah, this is not jealousy.
Episodes.
Yeah, this is not jealousy. She's the devil. And again, had the episode not have unfolded as badly as it did last week, this line he has, which again, in some ways he's right, but I mean the route of which they went through it was very wrong. He was like saying, she knows he didn't have a choice. He makes that clear. He didn't have a choice in the matter because he did get results at the end of that. So again, he can't really. They found the mayor because of all that stuff. So it had somewhat of a point. Very reckless though.
Yeah.
So let's see. Then Leslie saying, lately you've been. This is important. So Leslie points out, lately you've been giving into your dark side, probably, and it's a problem for you. It's a problem for us.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just, I don't know. I'm just kind of bored by the whole relationship drama element of it.
Well, no, not so much the relationship drama. I'm talking about more like Gordon having a dark side. We get to see that unfold this episode. Like how that's really
which is true.
She's just pointing out, literally, that is Gordon's problem this season. As the city's turning down a darker path with all this horrible stuff happening.
Embrace the hate, Jim. Turn to the dark side of the force.
Oh God, I can imagine. Ben McKenzie's Jim Gordon in like the Hayden Christensen robe.
Oh God!
And just Bullock as Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's like, just think about this. Just Ben McKenzie Gordon in lava saying, "I hate you. I told you to get lunch. You didn't listen to me. And now I'm giving your lightsaber to Bruce Wayne."
Oh God. I hate sand, Harvey. It's coarse and irritating.
Don't tell me. Tell Barbara. Yeah. But anyway, seriously, though, just the idea of kind of Gordon's dark side being his Achilles heel is definitely kind of something that's brought up by Leslie. And again, she's always been threatening with the psychoanalysis of Jim Gordon, which she said she could pull on him anytime, which again is very true.
Oh yeah.
Right. So let's see. So then we're with Bruce and St. Cloud here.
And everyone's favorite child abuser, Alfred.
Now, to be fair, next episode he gets a lot better.
Yeah, he takes his rage out on the right kid for once. So let's give him a round of applause.
And, you know,
we finally get Silver St. Cloud getting taken down a peg, and it's kind of beautiful.
Well, at first, you know, Silver St. Cloud's playing the, oh, my uncle's innocent card, which obviously we know is false. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's like, come on, come on.
Nice little thing here. Again, unfortunately, this is the story arc that brings us down this episode, because they don't wrong, folks. They fix it along the way, but here it's still bad.
Oh, I think the payoff in episode 10 is amazing.
It is. We're not going to talk about it. Let's just say the payoff is great, but unfortunately, we have to eat some crow here. Well, not us personally, but, you know, this episode has to eat some crow here, because this was bad. One positive thing, though, Bruce and kind of some classic Bruce Wayne homages here. He's in the black turtleneck like he wears a lot, especially in the New Adventures of Batman animated series.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of also in the Batman Forever movie, of course. You know, he favors the black turtleneck, which is kind of neat to see.
Right. Rocking the Val Kilmer look.
Yep. So, anyways, let's see. So, you know, Alfred smartly chases her away. You know, Alfred's kind of very defiant here, and then Silver St. Cloud slips her hotel keys to Bruce, which at that young age would be concerning, but not in this case. So,
and so Alfred, he calls her a little minx, which is just it's so good. It's so sweet.
Yeah. Again, it's a shame he didn't hit her though. It would have been justice.
Oh, I know. Come on, Alfred.
Just like give her like a good roundhouse, you know, like to the roundhouse kick to the head, you know, like. Because she deserves it. She really does. Anyway, again, she is Tiny Barbara after all.
There she is. She
is. She's Barbara next generation.
Oh God.
But anyway, though, this part at first, again, it pays off nicely next episode. But here, the idea was kind of half and half here. The idea of like cemented that Bruce Wayne might be doing the intelligent thing and kind of baiting her, but it didn't really turn out that way. It was that, it seemed that Bruce is trying to get answers from her regardless of if he likes her or not. He's trying to pump her for information. And, Alfred's like saying, well, you think she's going to tell you? You think she's going to tell you something? I mean, it's beyond your years at this point. You're training to get information from her.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, Alfred pointing out that he thinks the whole Galvan knowing the name was a ruse, and Bruce thinks, he would, if he was going to make a move like that, he would have, vital information, which, either way, I mean, I think he should have, on Bruce's side, not the most compelling argument, but I mean, of course, we know Galvan does have the means to actually find out the information, but that's us, not Bruce Wayne. So, either way, it's still not looking good for Bruce's case here against Alfred.
Yeah.
But again, Bruce seems to say, Bruce is saying, we're friends, and no, you're not. You don't have the level of deception to get the answers from her yet. I mean, it's too dangerous. He's trying to talk Bruce out of playing this little game of trying to get information from her or anything.
He doesn't have the level of deception on his own, but wait until he teams up with Selena. Oh yes.
Yep. And anyway, so Alfred does have this really great line, as Bruce is very determined to, get information about his parents' killer, because of course, how can he not, look into the case? Alfred says, "You forced me to be your jailer, and that's what I'm going to do."
Mm-hmm.
Which is a good line. So again, Alfred, he's earning some points here, but again, it's still a long road until next episode. Meanwhile, we get Gordon. One of my favorite scenes in the whole episode. Oh boy, do I love this scene. So we get Jim.
Fight scenes in an elevator are just always inherently good.
But I love every part of this scene. It's so great. It's you know me. I love my mundanity. What's more mundane than an elevator scene?
Sure.
but in all seriousness, now let me give you a little story here. Before Tom the Knife was introduced, Tom Flanagan's character was introduced. I had no idea what Tom Flanagan looked like, so I was wondering when he was going to show up. Now, at first, I thought this might have been him, this character.
I could see that.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm disappointed with ultimately who the knife is because he seems interesting.
Oh, I thought he did a great job. I thought he had a hell of a presence.
I'm just saying that in this episode, bear in mind, before we saw the second episode, I was thinking, oh, it's such a missed opportunity the way this guy pans out because this guy seemed very interesting. Like he could have been the knife.
Yeah. Well,
No, either way, it's nothing lost, nothing gained, but still, this guy would have been great to keep him around because I love this guy. So anyway, so Jim's in the elevator, Billy Boy. Going up some mundane chit chat going on. Essentially, Billy Boy, he fixes a piano because it's a really upscale apartment complex. That's the idea. Then people have grand pianos, so he's a piano repairman. Given what he's about to try, it's pretty hilarious.
Oh dear.
So I love this. I love the caramel pleasantries he offers Gordon. Caramel, caramel. Says no. It's thanks, but no. I love he's eating. I love the fact he offers because again, this is exactly what the reason I thought this guy might have been the knife is because his description is that he's a pleasant guy before he tries to kill you.
Yeah.
That's the idea. And this guy, he has all the earmarks of that. He's offering Gordon a caramel, and then Gordon turns him down and says, okay, and then he grabs the piano wire and is attacking him.
All right, no caramel. All right, fine. You die now.
Seriously, it's just such an awesome fight. It's first of all just really well choreographed in this really small space.
If Gordon took the caramel, if the guy would have let Gordon take the time to actually enjoy it before killing him.
I think he would have. Anyway, so they get this really awesome
caramel. Okay, you die now. Yeah.
Anyways, you get this really awesome fight scene, this really small space, like they're flipping in the elevator somehow. It's really cool. By the way, and again,
elevator fight scenes are just inherently awesome.
I gotta tell you, in the promo, I thought this might have been Enigma he was fighting with. So again, all my Enigma speculation kind of went out the tubes at this episode.
Yeah.
Because I saw, Penguin was in flannel in the promo, so I assume Enigma might have also been in flannel like this guy. So his face was obscured in the fight. So I think they were trying to get us to think that. Remember, they added Enigma in the promo. Yeah. Anyways, you get this awesome fight sequence with breaks. First of all, this also reminds me of the first introduction of Two-Face in Batman the Animated Series, where they had these really great editing. I'm not saying it's intentional. I'm just saying it's very similar. That there's like a whole Bruce Wayne he gets Bruce he gets his kicks in. You see Batman kicking a guy on a rooftop, and it's like Barnes saying, "Where is Gordon?" They just cut it. He and Billy Boy fighting, and like it still stops between the floors, the elevator. And I was on the floor laughing.
Also, I just want to point out, like, after Gordon he turns down the caramel. The guy just says, "Oh, you're missing out. They're good."
Oh god!
But the question is, BlueDragonFive, are they better than Harry's pie?
I don't know.
Because Harry's pie is so good.
Good.
It's so good. All right. Anyways, I apologize.
So pie aside,
yes.
I just love this. Again, this whole sequence from start to finish. I love this over sequence. Gordon drags the defeated Billy Boy because he literally just put the bag over his head, just punched him repeatedly in the face. He just drags him into the crime scene, and Barnes and the rest of the cops are like, "Wait, what?" Just drags him in. Who's that? I have no idea.
Who's that?
I have no idea. He tried to kill me.
Just another day on the job.
Yep, and again, I love the kind of the hints of deduction here with Gordon, just like looking at it. Piano wire must have been professional.
Mm-hmm.
Then, of course, Billy Boy gets a call and he answers it, and and I love that Barnes is smart enough to say, "No, don't answer, don't." And of course, Gordon answers it, and his breathing from being out of breath from the fight cues the lady to knowing that he didn't kill him.
I'm really taking a liking to that name. That's a really ominous name.
Yeah, I tell you, the lady's pretty cool. I really hope they bring back the lady.
The lady.
Yeah, it's like Buttons and what was the girl's name?
Oh, I don't know.
Sorry, it's Animaniacs reference, folks. Sorry. Anyway, let's see. So,
who wants a shot at 86ing Gotham's finest?
Also, I love it. She catches the dice mid-roll. Remember that? Like they're gambling, and she catches the dice mid-roll. And
Gordon does not see the sun rise.
So cool. Yeah. Of course, this leads to a potential plot hole, but we'll get to it when it happens. Anyway, so back to our most intriguing plot of the episode. We got Enigma and Penguin. So Penguin awakens again with questions. Riddler instantly kind of says, he drugged him I drugged you for your benefit. You have extensive injuries.
And then I love how the Riddler just comes in with a glass of water with an over-the-top cartoony drinky straw.
Again, pleasantries. He's trying to keep his fluids up,
Oh, yeah, I can totally relate to that.
And I love that Penguin's smart enough to recognize him. He says, I recognize you from the GCP. You cop? Oh, heavens, no.
We met once before.
Yes.
I threw your clothes away.
They smelled. I threw your clothes away. They smelled. By the way, with the whole clothes thing, it's like two things. Do you believe in fate? And they says, what happened to my clothes? Just think about the hilarity of this, Tiki, just for a moment. You wake up, strange bad guy you met one time before who was just changed your clothing and threw your other clothes out, misery style, and he says, do you believe in fate?
Oh, God.
And then so I think there's an underlining gag of maybe Enigma likes Penguin a little too much.
I think so. Of
course, that's not the case. I think
he's kind of fanboying over Penguin a bit.
I mean, he is fanboying over. I think Penguin for a moment might be wondering, is he into me?
Oh, God.
I'm just saying when he asks about the clothes, just the performance makes me think on some level he's wondering, is this guy into me? Yeah, it's very misery-like.
So Enigma points out that, Penguin wants to get out of there, but he's really injured, and he'll only get about 3 blocks before the police catch him because he's wanted.
So he insists that he stays.
Oh yeah.
And let's see. So what kind of? All right, Enigma poses him a riddle. I'm going through a change. What kind of change, you ask?
I didn't ask.
Again, the back and forth between Robin Lord Taylor and Corey Michael Smith give a great kind of back and forth performance. Again, this is our dream. We've always laid out these dream scenarios of our characters in odd couple-like situations or sitcoms, and this is a sitcom I watch.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Penguin, yeah. Do, and see Penguin, because he already has an umbrella, he does a little cigar bit.
I started murdering people. Wow, that is thrilling to say out loud.
Yeah. So anyway, Riddler confessed to having 3 victims. One of them is Kringle. He also, Penguin's like, well, if you're going to kill me, can you please kill me fast? And he says, no, I had no ill intentions towards you. I just want advice. Like the butterfly, I can't become a caterpillar again.
Oh, God.
I was hoping you could guide me. So, Penguin hobbles there. He has really kind of a great dramatic staging, by the way, for this. It's kind of Penguin. I love just how taken aback by this he is. Just he's not put off by it initially. He's just saying, man, this is weird.
It is weird. You can't deny that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. It's just so fun. Such a fun team up idea. So anyways, I love this Penguin's hobbling over to this metal pillar support beam or something, and he just gives this dramatic speech of my empire's in ruins, and you feel bad for Penguin saying, my empire's in ruins. I'm a wanted man. I have no friends, and my mother's dead because of my weakness. This path leads to destruction, Ed. It leads to destruction and hate. And then before he's about to leave, and then he passes out. Oh, dear.
Womp.
Yeah, Riddler's got his work cut out for him to be tutored by this man.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see. So we see another wake-up approach. Jim tries to wake up Billy Boy, not through greeting him with beverages by punching him square in the face. And it works.
Who sent you? Your mother.
I love the grin Gordon gives. Okay. A little bit of camaraderie, It's that's the benefit of having young Gordon. You have the young kind of reckless Gordon in the early stages,
Which I think this show is kind of illustrating well, especially because we see right now in this scene a good kind of contrast to that with the Barnes character.
Yeah, but of course there is an issue with just the series overall with young Gordon. They are kind of, especially this season, as much as I am liking Gordon this season, it's just, they are kind of going to the well of, he's a little reckless, a little too much.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I mean, they're making it, for the most part, they're making it story relevant, but, sometimes they could trim it a little bit, but here it works perfectly.
Mm-hmm. So he starts, he hangs a guy out the window and he, like, talk!
So I love he's pulling a Batman. I love it.
Pretty much.
And Barnes is not happy with this because, there's a Officer Parks and the forensic guy and Barnes himself, and they're like, you pulled this sort of thing, right? You pull this sort of thing in front of the other cops and in front of me, your superior, that makes me look. I love he's not just like saying, don't do it. He's just saying, why would you do this here in front of people, in front of me?
Yeah.
It's obviously doesn't encourage it, but he's still saying, I understand why you're doing it. The guy tried to kill you, but still, come on. And again, he looks up. It's kind of communicating a subtle thing that he does look up to Gordon, but he's still his boss, though.
Totally.
Anyway, so as I said, Barnes is not happy, and and then Barnes is kind of getting to the cutting truth to Gordon. You're saying, I'm sort of worried. Is that I'm surprised since that barber incident you haven't learned, with the whole mess with disobeying my orders before. And then of course Gordon points out, well, with that whole barber mess, it got Gallivan behind bars. Disobeying orders ended up getting Gallivan behind bars.
Yeah, it's a good little back and forth going on between the two of them.
And Gordon pointing out we need to push boundaries. Which again, he has somewhat of a point there. Boundaries need to be pushed to get results, but we're going to see those results don't exactly pay off. Meanwhile, so Billy enlightens them as some people walk to the lower levels and they kind of shoot out some security cameras. Billy enlightens them to his employer's systems, to the ladies' system. Now, the ladies' system is if one assassin fails or one hitman fails, she keeps sending until it works, and mentions none of you are getting out alive. Now, just the setup of that is a great idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, again, it sets up kind of this great, almost not exactly a bottle episode, but like a bottle plot line, I guess, because it's set in one location.
Plot. Sure, we'll go with that.
I mean, seriously, even the Breaking Bad bottle episode, even in The Fly, I mean, they went to other levels of the factory. I mean, it's insane.
The guy also kind of gives a bit of a Joker laugh. Am I right?
I'm not quite remembering that, but it's been a while.
I have it in my notes, so yeah, it's been a while for me too.
Anyway, but still, so Billy and I love this premise of like these three, Gordon, Billy Boy, Barnes, the forensics guy, and Parks just kind of caught in Gallivan's penthouse with assassins coming to him, and none of them are getting out alive. I love that kind of that bottle episode premise, like they're caught in one location the whole episode. I love that.
It's kind of like Die Hard-esque.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I love it. They're just kind of caught in this one building, and they're there for the whole episode, really. Let's see. So then, so as I mentioned, so it's Gordon, Barnes, Parks, and Cortez. And, Cortez is our forensics guy. We can't have Nigma everywhere now, can we?
Oh dear. Anyway, it was actually kind of a point where I was a little bit confused if Nigma had lost his job at the GCPD or not.
No, take it. There's much more than one forensics person at a police department.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the fact that Nigma just seems to be like dicking around and killing people and not really caring about going to his job at this point.
Yeah.
But we saw him in the next episode. He's at his job.
Yeah.
He's there for now.
Hasn't been fired yet. Anyway, so they're all nervous, especially Cortez, because he has no gun and he has no experience with guns. Again, forensics guy. So just like Gordon's also giving Parks advice. Parks is she's kind of again another potential Montoya in the grand scheme.
Right? What happened to the real Montoya? Where is she?
That's the thing. I hope real Montoya is not dead, but it's been a while since we've seen the SWAT team, the strike force. I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they set up the strike force, they set up the real Montoya, and now she's gone. And again, the real Montoya needs to stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up.
And again, this one could also be a good real Montoya. She's a beat cop. She's nervous. Gordon giving her advice. Again, perfect Montoya model, but it doesn't pan out that way. Being a Montoya,
although I do like the way it pans out, just in terms of kind of like a dramatic.
Oh yeah, it works.
A dramatic event that happens.
No. I think they did a good job making us care somewhat about Parks. And again, it's a little familiar.
I think they did. Yeah.
Anyway, so Gordon gives her some shooting advice. Make sure it reminds her of her training. Shoot for like shoulders, chest, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, then there's rumbling at the door. They're all in positions. Again, it's kind of a neat setup. Billy Boy is like chained, like handcuffed to a rail or something. And then basically they're all in position. This is meant to distract them from the stairwell entrance on the roof. So our bad guys, or one of our assassins, is coming down through that route. So basically, it's like a killing zone. Like they're all have their backs turned to him. So bang, 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 bang. That's the plan. And in the midst of that, this assassin manages to kill Cortez. Unfortunately, then the door explodes. A little bomb that's put on there, and with the others, just kind of it's complete chaos in the room.
Yeah, a huge fight breaks out.
Parks takes one of them down thanks to Gordon's advice, which is nice. Yay, Parks! Yeah.
Woo!
Yay, Catherine Parks. So
Gordon has a great line to what is the guy's name? Jimmy Boy?
No, Billy Boy.
Billy Boy. Billy Boy.
Well, also we see Barnes take out a few guys without killing him. There's a few good punches in there because he's awesome and he's chickless.
But I love Gordon's whole thing. Like, you know what my favorite part about your glasses are? They look like bullseyes.
Very cool. And by the way, two things about that. One, Parks is the one taken hostage by Billy Boy after he escapes in the struggle from the pipe. And then Gordon just shoots him like, what I like about those glasses? Bang! They look like bullseyes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway, so then so unfortunately we have.
I'm sorry, that felt like a CSI.
So unfortunately, our forensics guy has bit the dust, and so Barnes is making the logical call. We got to get out of here. Gordon's saying he wants to stay. I mean, there's evidence there, and obviously they don't want him to find something in the penthouse. Mm-hmm. So Barnes. First of all, I love that he excuses Parks from the room, and just showing that Barnes does care about these officers, and he kind of whispers to Gordon once she's out of the room. Not everyone's prepared here. I mean, she's green for the job, and it just excuses her for a bit to leave the room so he can kind of say, we're not ready for this.
Yeah, he's essentially saying at this point that Gordon's just looking for a fight, right?
Yeah. There's a little plot line that has not been picked up in the following episode. I'm a little confused by, but basically you see in the wall there's like this bag with it's called the monk's casket bag in the wall, which I guess actually, I'm sorry, this actually does have plot relevance. It's the symbol we get next episode. That's what it is. Sorry.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So the point is, a monk's casket is in a bag. It's basically a bag in the wall that's discovered there. So Gordon's just giving him more fodder. Like, we got to stay here. There's some evidence here. Something they're after here. Then, unfortunately, one of the guy Gordon shot this guy, the one that kind of came in from behind and killed Cortez. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, that guy pulls a knife and he's about to stab Gordon. Barnes gets Gordon out of the way, and Barnes takes it in the leg, and then the guy gets killed off, and then Barnes unfortunately has an artery nick, so he can't get up.
It's merely a flesh wound.
Yeah, Barnes thinks it's just a flesh wound, but in reality, as Gordon points out, again, Gordon's been in the field, been in combat, as well as Barnes has, and he probably realizes some medical things, like if he gets up, he will bleed out and he will die, which he warns him about. So that means, for better or for worse, they are stuck in this set, which again, brilliant concept. I love this. They're trapped on this floor. They can't move.
You literally cannot physically move. It's intense.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Nigma, and I just have written down in my notes. It's like it's Nigma as Dexter to a T.
So Nigma presents the Penguin with Mr. Leonard.
Oh God! Oh God!
Because he heard Penguin talking in his sleep about Gallopman. He hated Gallopman. Revenge. So Penguin. So by the way,
I love how pleasant Nigma is being about this whole thing, while Mr. Leonard is just obviously just scared out of his mind and struggling to get out of the shit. It's so dark and so funny at the same time.
Oh yeah, very much so. Hey, it's so hilarious. This guy through the whole episode, you don't see his face. He's just like, just panicking out of his door. What is happening here? Why are they exchanging pleasantries? Let me out of here!
Oh God!
He's sick in bed. Why am I here? What did I do? Someone give me some water. Anyway, so I also love this moment here, which of course does pay off next episode, that Riddler informs Penguin that Galavan has been arrested by Jim Gordon, which of course is why Gordon will be, have tabs kept on him next episode.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And then the Penguin has this great line: What am I to do with a Leonard? What am I going to do with a Leonard? So, Riddler says, well, I thought you could, kill him for retribution. Cheer up.
Yeah, cheer you up a little, man. Come on, cheer up, buddy.
Which I gotta tell you, it's a psychotic gesture, but it's a nice gesture.
But it's nice. I know.
It's like a psychotic Christmas present.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Like, can you imagine?
Come on, man. All you have to do is kill this guy. It'll just take all the stress off.
And can you imagine? I can imagine Harley Quinn would do this for the Joker. She just like bound the guy in wrapping paper, put bat ears on him, like so the silhouette would be a guy with bat ears wrapped in Christmas wrapping paper. Joker just like shoot him and say, "Oh, Puddin', you're the best."
I could also imagine someone giving a Christmas present to Dexter like that, just like a wrapping paper, just Christmas wrapping paper of a criminal, just all.
No, it's cellophane. It's colored cellophane, so it's still plastic. So it's like
okay, right, but it's red and green though.
It's red and green with like a little bow on his head.
Oh god, there we go. Merry Christmas.
Okay, anyway, so Dexter aside, Penguin, he arms Penguin with a knife, and looks like Penguin's about to kill the guy. Then he just puts down the knife. He just drops it. He says, "I'm done. I plan on getting some rest and then leaving Gotham forever."
Mm-hmm.
Which is sad. In a way, you feel bad for Penguin. I mean, we should be relieved that he's leaving Gotham, but we feel bad for him.
No, we don't want him to leave Gotham, because if he leaves Gotham, then
I mean more.
A really good part of the show is gone.
No, I mean
he needs to stay in Gotham.
No, I mean morally, we should want him to leave Gotham, but of course we don't want him to leave Gotham, or else the show's over.
True morals. All right, so I love Big Bug. He's just like, oh, I really thought he would like you. As he's wheeling away Mr. Leonard.
They're just dragging him away as he's screaming and panicking.
Oh boy.
But again, I got to tell you though, I mean, we are invested in Penguin's struggle though. It's quite clever that Penguin has been through a lot. I mean, his mother died in front of him, and aside from just escaping, and his revenge attempt has been foiled. Now there's really no way to get to Galavan. You realize nothing to live for now.
Yeah, this is kind of his low moment for sure.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So as he's putting Leonard away for a rain, I love he's just putting Leonard away for a rainy day.
Literally.
Well, if he cheers up, then he can kill you. Otherwise, it might kill you for breakfast. I don't know. He hears Penguin. He hears Penguin singing a tune.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And it gives Nigma an idea.
The Nigma had an idea. An awful idea.
Sorry, folks. It's close to the holidays by the time the show's
done. Had a wonderful, awful idea.
Plus, he's green too. It works perfectly. It's like
he is.
And see, what happens is instead of getting a light bulb, it'd be a question mark. It's a
of course.
The Riddler got a nasty, awful idea. Meanwhile, we are introduced to a character named Flamingo.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
So we see, we cut to Flamingo eating a victim, a piece of a victim's face. As we notice in the room, there's one man who's been burning alive for quite a time now. His legs are sticking out of the oven. We see Flamingo at this point has killed at least 4 other men, not counting the burning man. And just as he answers his phone, he's like terrifying by eating a little piece of his face, and he gets a call, and just he's on the phone, he just quiets him by shooting him. I'm sorry, you were saying? He gets a call. Our character here, Flamingo, gets a call from the lady.
Mm-hmm.
So the lady asks her, "You want a job right now?" "It's not a job if you love what you're doing."
Oh boy! Oh boy!
So again, by the way, I forgot all about Flamingo this episode. I forgot that it was the character Flamingo until he announced his name. I thought for a moment he might have been the knife again, because a guy who it fits the character mold for the knife.
Teasing out the knife.
Seriously, I mean, we think about it. In the same episode, we get 2 characters in a row who kind of exemplify the qualities we've been hyped up for with the knife. The guy who is really happy with his job, has pleasantries before he kills you. Which again, That's what I'm saying. So until I saw the Tom Flanagan guy, I had no idea what he looked like. So I thought, okay, but seriously though, so let me explain Flamingo in case he's from the comics, Tiki.
I assume so.
So Flamingo here, some people are a little mixed on him. I'll tell you what, I know very little, but he's a Grant Morrison character.
I like him just because it's just twisted. I like cannibalism always adds drama. Just like The Walking Dead got rid of their cannibals way too fast.
And of course, cannibals. We've always had an affinity for cannibals. Hannibal Lecter being the key of those.
Yeah, I still need to check out Hannibal. That's on my must list. But
I mean, Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs, just in general.
Sure.
Anyway, now Flamingo, he's a character from the comics. He's a Grant Morrison character. He is part of Professor Pig's Circus of Strange. He's one of the freaky guys in Professor Pig's group. That's the idea. Now, here's the thing. So they changed him up a little bit, and I kind of like the idea. Again, I know very little about him, so don't hold me to this to a T. But the gist of this guy is they got him pretty close. Is that he's a psychotic cannibal. He's really scary, really tough, and obviously that comes through this episode.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing is he's a little more flamboyant in the comics. In the comics, he drives a pink motorcycle and wears all pink leather. But I think
that would have just looked silly on this show.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You know what? Regardless, I think just starting him off in a place where he's like pink in the hair, I think it works.
Yeah. I think the hair's fine.
And bear in mind, I'm not a huge Morrison guy. I don't really know a lot about the Flamingo character. So I mean, to me, I think it's close enough to the initial kind of, again, what I've read up on the guy. I think it's close enough to the initial thing. And for an origin piece, I think it's close as you're going to get. Because his origin is that it's something that we could just assume maybe happened. Is that mobsters essentially kind of drove him crazy or hypnotized him into being crazy. And that's why he kind of kills people. He's like a nice guy, just hypnotized and becoming crazy. So we can say it happened or just change it. It doesn't really matter. He's crazy.
Okay.
So I think regardless, Flamingo, I thought he could pull it off well in this episode. I just want to make that clear. Some people are iffy about him.
I like the way he paid off. I like how his whole character came together and what he did at the end of the episode. It was very brutal.
I like the idea. He's just kind of, the character to me just seems like untapped potential of character development, which I think this might be the path of doing that with,
I agree.
Again, the idea of since Jerome, we're kind of on the path of really demented, dark characters like Flamingo.
So, so Flamingo, he mentions well, is it my membership revoked? And because Peggy Carter, she's just like, well, live and let live, Tom.
So you like to eat people. Everyone has their quirks.
Who am I to judge?
Exactly, which is pretty hilarious. So again, just the idea is the lady wasn't a little scared by Flamingo here, so she kind of kicked him out of the club because he eats people. He loves his work too much. He's like Bullseye that eats flesh.
Oh God, that's terrifying.
But he basically offers him, well, I'll pay you whatever you want. Just offers him I'll pay you handsomely if you can kill James Gordon by the end of tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And he accepts. Meanwhile, Jim's patching up Barnes, and it's a really funny line. He says, oh man, there are deaf squads that have a softer touch than you, Gordon.
And they're raiding Galavan's liquor cabinet, and one good thing about Galavan, he does go top shelf alcohol all around. Yeah.
By the way, I love the fact that because Gordon's dating a doctor, he has no bedside manner whatsoever with the soft touch.
Right.
I love that. Anyway, so Gordon they're kind of having a little moment here, kind of calm before the storm. This is a good scene. Again, because of the promo kind of misdirected us. I kind of thought there might, because of that shot of Barnes shooting his gun, it looked a lot like a flashback, maybe.
Yeah.
But regardless, I think we get a good story here, wouldn't you say? Like a little expository thing between.
To tell you the truth, I actually think this works better than if it was a flashback. I like when dialogue-driven scenes like this can really hold off and have a weight to them.
That's the thing. I mean, Chiklis has given a great performance in this scene. It's very
vivid. That's what I'm saying. And you know what? This fucking reminds me of another Alfred Burma speech in a way.
Yeah, I mean, it's very descriptive without kind of so basically when we see the event unfold, we're not just instantly, it's not being spoon-fed to us. It's remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so let's see. So Gordon airs out his issue that he's afraid that because what Leslie's been saying, what Barbara's been saying, is that there's a monster inside him. Again, remember, the word monster is kind of a big thing this season with all the villains coming out of the woodwork. With Jerome.
We have the episode title "Mommy's Little Monster" as well.
Of course, and just episode 2, I think it was. Gallivan telling the mayor, monsters are coming.
Monsters are coming, Mr. Mayor.
So again, it's like I like how they're kind of been seeding the idea of monsters. Tabitha, for all intents and purposes, is kind of a monster within Gallivan's brood, and it's of course like characters like Jerome and of course Flamingo in this case. Monsters are permeating the city, and Gordon's afraid he's getting to a dark place like those demons he's faced. Like a Jerome or something if he gets too violent.
Sure.
So he feels like there's a monster inside him, like Barbara and Leslie have been telling him, and like they've been saying lately. And he's tempted, like he was really tempted, like we all were, to shoot Barbara in that church. And the instant he broke out of the wheelchair, he had the gun on her, and he was really tempted to shoot her. But then she asked for it, and that stopped him. And then of course when Gallivan's forces burst through there, they kind of stopped him from doing that. But he wonders if he should have done that because he wanted to, but he nearly crossed the line. And then Barnes gets into a story. Really nice story.
Oh boy.
Again, full marks to Chiklis. Doing an A+ job here. That Chiklis. He hasn't really dropped the ball in this season, really.
I don't think so at all. No, he's been very consistent.
So let's see. Barnes' story essentially is, he was on his 3rd tour of duty, and he was alone when they were taking fire, and they were like moving this young prisoner, this kid essentially, young guy. Anyway, so there's a storm, and there was combat everywhere. And anyway, so the kid took the opportunity to escape. His hands were zip tied, and he was trying to hop away and get away. But Barnes, he tackled him to stop him, and just because it's just so chaotic there, and just kind of things, just kind of there's so much madness around him, and how just kind of violent and scary things are. His reflex reaction kicked in. Basically, he tackled him just to put the fear of God into the guy. He put a gun in the kid's mouth just to show him, don't run away again, as a threat. And unconsciously, because you go through so much as a soldier a lot of the time, he pulled the trigger and he shot him on reflex. He didn't mean to.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's really heavy.
And Barnes goes in this great thing. I love the reaction of Ben McKenzie too. He's playing reactions good to the story too. He's just saying, Barnes says, he woke up. That memory woke him up for years until he made peace with it. The fact that he realized the fact that he was just a man, and a man might do anything. Might
really good
make
stuff.
Any man. And also his big point is that there's no line. There's just the law that separates us from the animals.
Good stuff.
And this, with this arc, just kind of explains vehemently that why Barnes is so committed to law and order, because he can't just if he accepts that there's a line, that means he'll put himself in a position where he can think he can put a gun in someone's mouth and just threaten them, and of course that reflex will trigger again. Bang.
So really, it's kind of course correction on his behalf. It's kind of something where it's very personal to him, which is it adds a new layer to it.
Exactly, because if he walks a line like Gordon's walking around, that's why he's so concerned for him. If you walk a line, you're going to go. There's a very good chance you're going to go over it. Again, you're kind of hobbling on both sides. You can't hobble on both sides. You're going to fall one way or the other.
Exactly.
And it's not going to end well. So he makes a very good point. It's a really good story. So let's see. So after this really kind of neat moment, again, the moral has been kind of communicated to Gordon here, which is very important for what follows. Just kind of really horrifying story there. We get Bruce and Alfred having a little scene here. Want to take us through it?
Yeah, sure. So, so they're going to go to Gordon, but Alfred points out the taxi.
Yeah, basically Bruce is playing it off like he's going to bed. Oh, I'm going to turn in, Alfred. I'm tired. Anyway, so because he has the hotel key, and the idea he was going to sneak into the cab, and Alfred's many steps ahead of him and says, "Oh yeah, don't worry. I tipped the cabbie well, so he go home. And he drove all the way out here after all, right?"
Oh boy.
He calls Bruce on it, and he says, "You're such a terrible liar."
Yeah, and kind of at this point.
You do get this great moment between them, though. Just Bruce saying, "I won't stop, Alfred. I won't." He says, "Neither will I." Which is good. I like that moment. Yes, because that's what it is to achieve. Alfred has his goal. In a way, I wonder how much they're factoring in here. That Alfred is this in many ways is Alfred training Bruce to be more crafty, or if it's just Alfred just kind of protecting Bruce from bad decisions.
Well, it definitely kind of foreshadows the fact that Bruce is going to turn into a very good liar really soon.
Yeah. It might be a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, oh man, great scene. Oh, great scene. Enigma wakes Penguin up with a record of a song about mothers, essentially.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So, by the way, this song is an original song from.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is an original song that the actually, if you like go look for the music, it'll tell you like the people in connection to the music on the show. I guess they mentioned it was an original song sang by this I guess an up and comer or something by this woman who did the music, who sang the song. And it's unfortunately it's not really a name for the song specifically. It's just a song about mothers' love and warming embrace in snow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is kind of it's reassuring.
That's
it's like
interesting. That's interesting.
yeah, and again, it feels like a really old song. It feels kind of like
does. It does.
what I kind of like about it. It's kind of like a song that kind of establishes kind of a it's like this is gonna be a weird comparison. It's kind of like in Batman, they have the quarter vowels, and they have like the big thing with the quarter vowels Tiki's that they have a legend. Like they have this old rhyme and like this old story in Gotham. Like if you step out of line, I'm not doing it any justice here. If you step out of line, the Talon will send the quarter vowels will send a Talon for your head. It's like an old nursery rhyme. So I'm saying building original stuff like that and kind of building an original song like that here, it's kind of like in that same vein. I kind of like that. Yeah, building mythology around Gotham. And essentially, there's a song that's playing. You Penguin asks, "Why are you playing that song?" It gives him a little riddle saying it's a memory. And then the Penguin gets in this really loving story here. It's feel your heart goes out to the Penguin here. Again, Robin Lord Taylor. This part here really great on his end. Mrs. Kabut sang that to the Penguin and told him, Oswald, don't listen to the other kids. You are handsome and you are clever, and one day you will be a great man. Oh, again, your heart goes out to this kid. That's the Penguin's origin to a T. He was bullied a lot as a kid because of his appearance. And just the idea is he had a reassuring mother that said, no, you are better than them, Oswald. You are better than them.
You are handsome, Oswald. You are clever.
Oh, sweet. Anyway, so then, it said, memories are like daggers in my heart. Enigma shows, do you remember who says that again? It's been a while, folks. Remember, memories are like daggers in my heart.
No, I'm sorry. My notes are kind of vague at this point, too, so I'm not.
I want to say that's Penguin, but I could be wrong. Always like the line said, these memories feel like daggers in my heart. The point is, Penguin is really being held back right now over the feeling of failure he has in regards to his mother and how Galvin got the best of him. So this is Enigma's way of giving him a pep talk, kind of shaking him out of his apathy. And again, kind of a Batman-like thing to do, shake people out of apathy. So he's trying to connect the Penguin here by saying, he shows in Miss Kringle's glasses, saying, at first I felt sadness, great sadness about Miss Kringle and what happened with her, but not anymore. I don't feel sadness anymore. I feel gratitude. He feels gratitude. He confronts him. Love is our as Penguin starts walking away or something. Basically, Enigma says he confronts him. Then love is our weakness. We're better off unencumbered.
My mother was a saint.
Yeah, your mother was your weakness. Then Penguin grabs a knife, puts the Enigma's throat, and he says, "My mother was a saint." Oh
boy, and she was. I can't argue with that.
She was. In this moment here, I really love. This like cemented their friendship. I hope they keep this going. I hope they really build a friendship between Penguin and Enigma.
That would be good. That would be a good kind of alliance they have forging on.
Because this moment really hit. This is the best moment of the episode. It is my favorite moment. It's just Enigma giving the ultimate pep talk to Penguin here, saying, Penguin saying, she was the only person who ever cared about me. And Riddler says, riddle me. He doesn't say riddle me this way. He basically poses him a question, like,
man cannot be bargained or betrayed. Man answers to no one but himself. That is the man I see before me, a free man.
Very nice, very nice. And then he takes the knife from the Penguin, who relinquishes the knife, and it's a beautiful moment. Just like essentially Riddler saying, "I believe in you. You are a great man." Basically, he becomes Penguin's mother in a weird way.
Oh God! Oh God!
Again, so the idea is Penguin has no friends. All he really has is Enigma, who sees the greatness in Penguin. He really wants nothing from me except for just his words of wisdom, his friendship in many ways. it's really interesting. I mean, these two men who've really lost all their connections to the world through the loss of a beloved one, and now they've kind of found each other, and that they are that emotional support for each other that kind of inch through their metamorphosis from this point forward to become more powerful, as we know they will become in the future. It's very interesting.
Of course, of course.
So let's see. Again, he takes the knife, just boom. Let's see. Meanwhile, so backup arrives. So when the other cops arrive there, like four cops arrive at the bottom. They're contacting him, saying, "Well, the paramedics are on their way. So yeah, we got to get the Captain Barnes out of here." And then that is interrupted by all of them dying. All four of those cops being killed by Flamingo.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
They all died Flamingo's hands off screen, yet sounding very brutally. And again, we can assume he ate a little bit of them each time. By the way, we can assume that. I love the staging of this. By the way, I love that we see him on security cameras. It's like Gordon's like looking at him in a way, but he's just way down there.
Hola, Gordon, I presume.
Edward Flamingo. Again, this guy's fun. I hope they bring him back. I'm going to say
you for dessert.
That's such a cool line for a cannibal to say. I'm going to save you for dessert. That's so cool. I'm going to kill everyone and save you for dessert. That's such a cool, intimidating cannibal.
He's not just a cannibal. He enjoys being a cannibal.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you take any mercenary or hitman. It's a big Deadpool is a man. He loves the work, but he doesn't enjoy it. Bullseye, on the other hand, is a guy who enjoys it. He loves killing people.
Totally.
He loves getting his psychotic kicks on it, but he also does it for the money. I mean, this guy is just purely for the he's the John Lasseter of cannibals, The
John Lasseter of camp.
I say that because he literally uses the John Lasseter quote of if you love your work, you never get into life.
Oh dear God!
Seriously, he's the passion of John Lasseter as a cannibal. It's the most terrifying thing.
John Lasseter would love you comparing him to this guy.
Mr. Lasseter, I'm so sorry. Please don't judge me. That comparison. I'm sorry. Now you're making me self-conscious. I'm sorry, Mr. Lasseter. I know you're not watching this, but I'm sorry.
All right. So Gordon decides he's going to go down and face the Flamingo himself. Barnes is not that cool about it because he just took out all of the backup. So Gordon's not going to stand a chance.
Yeah. Anyway, so then Parks offers to go down there, and Gordon tells me, "Hey, stay up there, watch the captain."
And then he gets in an elevator, and I love the shot of the elevator closing on him. It's kind of a nice bookend.
Oh, yeah. And again, it's like through that story, they've just kind of recognized the reason he lets Gordon go down there is the idea of you have to face your own demons, you have to grow, or else you won't be able to face your own monster in a way. That's kind of what's subtly being communicated between those two after that scene of well, this is your chance now to change. Which again, kind of chance of change is the option, again, that kind of character moment of you either take that moment of change or you don't with, Penguin and Riddler.
Sure.
So let's see. So Gordon's in the elevator, and then he comes down there again. Really great.
He ignores a call from Lee.
Yeah, he ignores a call from Lee. And what's communicated with that is that he can't face his demons right now. It's like Lee is almost calling as a reminder of what has been said about him. Don't do this.
Right.
You're going to give into your darkness if you do this. In a way, it's like the idea.
Lee might as well just be sending him a text message I'm psychoanalyzing you right now.
Essentially, that's what happened. That's what's happening. You see what I mean, though, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Anyway, so then Gordon gets down there. I love the lighting and everything around this fight because it's
it's very gritty. There's just a bunch of bodies of dead cops everywhere.
I gotta tell you, it's such a great setting for a fight with Gordon because Law and Order obviously factor in there big time. It's just the police lights going off and dead cops and police cars. It's a great set for a fight with Gordon fighting his inner demons. So that's
Flamingo, he uses a chain as a weapon, which makes
he does in the comics. That's his big thing. He uses a motorcycle chain to fight people with, and it's so awesome. It's he's smashing into things. It's really brutal.
Oh yeah.
Again, really good lighting, and I love this move. You never really think about it when you're fighting a cannibal, but it just works so well. It's that Gordon is instant because he knows he's a cannibal. Because he mentions dessert up there, and he says, "I'm going to save you for dessert." His love. Gordon's instant move is smartly to headbutt him. What do you do when you fight a cannibal? You headbutt him so he can't eat you. It makes sense.
Oh God!
And you'll notice in this fight, Gordon's ferocity is very scary. So again, the idea is he is becoming.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And what I love, it's a subtle thing. I want, in my heart of hearts, I really hope it's a Jerome reference. Just this is the laughing I think you're definitely thinking about. It's a Flamingo's.
No, I think that the Billy Boy guy, whatever the fuck his name was.
It's Billy Boy.
Billy Boy. All right. Is that really his name? Just Billy
Yes,
Boy?
Billy Boy.
Like first name Billy, last name Boy?
I don't know if that's his legal name, but yes.
It's just all right. I'm sorry, but I don't know. I do think he had a laugh in there somewhere. I'd have to rewatch it. But yes, this is definitely a Jerome style laugh for sure.
Like a part of me really hopes like that's the subtle message that's being communicated. Jerome's still around somewhere. It's like Gordon facing true monsters that are kind of embodying.
And of course, we got the ha 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 graffiti at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, yeah. Again, just like Gordon just facing this, like fighting this guy with all he's got, and there's this guy's laughing in his face, and just like he's punching him and punching him, just still laughing. Again, very Jerome-like. And then just like then he just puts the gun in his mouth, and he's still laughing in a way. It's so terrifying. And then just the realization, again, it's such a powerful moment. It was even the promo. This is powerful, but I kind of wish they didn't put in the promo because it just works so well here.
Right.
The gun in his mouth. Again, it's like right against the pavement, too. Such a scary shot, too. Just the gun in the mouth right towards the pavement. And just like the realization on Gordon here is realizing what he's done. Putting a gun in his mouth, just like Barnes' story, just like giving into the monster. And there's that moment of where he kind of makes the decision not to go with reflex action. And just Gordon just gives this primal shout.
Ah! The Flamingo, he's just like, ooh, baby, you disappoint.
Yeah, I love that Flamingo likes it. Again, he's very Joker-like. he likes it, but he's disappointed. Again, I think it's just showing the subtle thing of madness just infecting this city.
Oh,
I like him, but so disappointing.
You have the right to remain silent, and I suggest you use it.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, Gordon congratulates Parks as Parks says, okay, I'm going to take him in for booking and so on and so on. And he says, oh, listen, Parks, you did good tonight. You did good, which is nice. Unfortunately, that's the last we're going to hear from Catherine Parks.
Yeah, Flamingo's still smiling as he gets loaded up, so he's got some plans in the works. Never
a happy ending with the GCPD. Meanwhile, Bruce prepares to leave, to sneak out to meet Silver St. Cloud. Thankfully, thank God, Selena stops. Thank you for saving our Bruce Wayne arc, Selena. Thank you.
Yeah.
Selena stops by, she stops in, and she stops him from seeing Silver St. Cloud, and he said, well, she mentions this time I have proof, which, Selena, I love that you're here now, but seriously, where was this proof before? Why didn't you think this far ahead?
She has to take time to get it. Give her a break.
Regardless, why'd you have to say, oh, yeah, I don't like this person? Let's say, no, like, whisper to the side. Hey, listen, Bruce, I don't like this person. Don't trust her yet.
Well, yeah, but I think at this point she needs the proof, or else Bruce isn't just going to take her for her word at face value.
Regardless, we're past the stupidness now. Now we're back.
We are.
Now we're back to Selena being very competent, very awesome. So he has proof, and it's going to pay off big time. Meanwhile, we get a really tragic scene where Parks is walking Flamingo in. Flamingo feigns being ill for a moment, and then it's snack time.
Oh boy!
He lunges at her, like turns around, lunges at her, and just clamps down on her neck and dragging her to the floor. And it takes all the cops, like not all the cops, it's like 8 cops in the GCPD, like beating the guy, and he still won't let go, and you just see the pool of blood on the floor.
Oh God! Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Poor Parks. And it's done like kind of semi-silently too. It's like the music's kind of drowning out, so you don't only hear all the screams exactly, like the music somehow drowned out. Meanwhile, Jim's getting patched up by Leslie, and he says, we almost crossed the line, and it scared me.
How out of character.
But again, Leslie calling Gordon on this a little bit, which is nice. Then, of course, Gordon asking a nice question. Some people kind of milk this for like, oh yeah, why is he with you? Because some people aren't happy about Jim and Leslie getting together and stuff. But I view this.
Well, I gotta say, at this point, it is like it's not as great as it was in season 1. I think Lee could be used a little bit better, but
Because I have my fears, but we'll get into that when we get into the next episode. My fears
Yeah,
with Leslie.
yeah.
Point is, Leslie here, this is a kind of a sweet moment where Gordon says, "Well, why are you with me?" And she says, beats me." It's like she likes it, and basically then she has this really sweet moment here. She says, "Just look, tell me the truth always," like they just did in the moment here. Just Gordon confiding in her. I almost crossed the line. It scared me. There's moments like that she lives for. You can keep this relationship going if you just tell me the truth. Be honest with me, emotionally too. Don't just not just honest. Be emotionally honest with me.
Exactly.
And then this kind of a year one moment, of course, Gordon being patched up or having the stresses of the day melted away by the woman he loves, and then a call comes in. The woman answers because she's like, "No, you're not handling the phone." Answers the phone, and it's bad news. I love this. She tries pulling it off and out. Whatever it is, try Alvarez. And then it's news about Parks.
I'm sorry, I think we're skipping over a Joker Riddler scene.
No, we're good.
Are you sure?
Let me make sure we didn't miss it. One second.
Because in my notes, I have it in between Parks being arrested and then Bruce and Selina.
Well, I mean, I guess we missed that. It doesn't come here, but we missed it. We missed the part where the reconciliation, I guess, was. Okay, you take us through.
Well, basically, first of all, it's just an awesome Riddler's lair in the making. We've got the green neon letters and everything. It's cool. But Penguin, he's just essentially asking, what happened to the gentleman you had tied up? Why do you ask? Well, it's not a party without entertainment. Oh boy.
Mr. Leonard. Poor Mr. Leonard.
Yeah, Mr. Leonard's not going to be having a good night tonight.
I don't know where that was. I didn't write that in my notes. I mean, I knew it happened. I thought it was just glazed over, like it ended somehow in the knife scene, but I guess it was here then.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Rose.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it was the Leonard payoff. Sorry, folks. Yeah, the Leonard payoff was pretty good.
Oh, Mr. Leonard.
Yeah. What am I ever going to do with a Leonard?
Oh, God.
Kill him, of course. Meanwhile, Tabitha and Gallivan, they have a little scene. Tabitha's visiting Gallivan prison. Gallivan is very displeased with her because, is this about Barbara? I mean, look, why can't you find a nice librarian to torture? Come on.
Oh, God.
Which is pretty funny, is him saying, well, can't you find a librarian to torture to hold you over in the meantime instead of making trouble because of Barbara getting in your head?
Mm-hmm.
And Gallivan's telling her, you know what you jeopardize? I mean, they are on their way. The Order of Saint Dumas. They're on their way. They're close. We're close to achieving everything. You're endangering. If you endanger the prize again, I'll cut your throat. Much as it pains me, I will cut your throat.
And I think at this point, Gallivan really is kind of transitioning into being a very threatening villain.
Oh yeah, and then speaking,
I think full-blown kind of like exposed, nothing to lose Gallivan is pretty scary.
And speaking of threats, then we meet we see Father Creel welcoming the Order of Saint Dumas, who have finally arrived, or kind of our monk-clad assassins group, the Warriors of Saint Dumas. They have arrived to kind of fulfill the cleansing of Gotham, and they are accosted by Night Watchmen, who they stab mercilessly to death.
It's pretty terrifying.
And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah. All right. So, final thoughts. What do you think?
Final thoughts. I liked it. It was very solid. Again, the character stuff between Penguin and Enigma was the strongest element. I like Gordon and Barnes' scene. It was kind of a fun little. It was a simple episode for Gordon. He was kind of powering on through some character stuff. It was getting us through the character arcs there, which is some good development.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the Bruce Wayne stuff is where it kind of dropped the ball, but I liked everything else in it. It was very solid. Again, I liked the little world developing stuff of the lady and the assassins organization she runs. Oh wait, by the way, here's the nitpick. Not the nitpick. Here's the problem with the episode.
What's the problem?
Plot hole is that she only sends 3 guys after Billy Boy fails.
That's true. And then we see nothing else from it.
Now look, here's my rationale for what it's worth, the 2 cents it's worth. I mean,
maybe Gallivan called her off or something.
No. It's much simpler than that. Again, whether you take it or not, it's the only thing I can come up with that would be any valid explanation. Otherwise, it's a big plot hole. It's that for other guys are on assignment. They got other stuff to do. It's a big organization.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's my guess. I mean, they're on assignment. They were there at the beginning, then they're on assignment. The only those 4 guys who were playing at the table were around, and that's who she offers the job to.
All right.
That's my guess. Otherwise, I got nothing. Okay. Otherwise, it's a big plot hole. But aside from that, and the Bruce Wayne stuff, the episode's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good build-up. I mean, I think episode 10 is like just a really, really damn good episode all around. So I mean,
obviously,
it's
a big jump in the right direction quality-wise from last episode.
Oh God, yes. Last episode was a drag. That was a drag, and that's coming from someone who usually loves to make fun of Barbara.
Yeah, but
was
again,
just a drag to get through.
It was. But again, this is a good action-heavy episode. It was, some nice kind of touching character moments, and it was solid.
I really like the Barnes speech. I think that's probably my favorite moment of the whole episode for me, at least.
The Barnes speech and Nigma's pep talk were the best parts, and of course, Gordon had a lot of awesome action moments, and of course, it's like they're finally getting to the place of Gordon combating his demons, literally, and just kind of getting over the place of being reckless, which we kind of hoped is they're going to continue. I mean, there are a few speed bumps in the next episode with that, but I think he's getting over it. This episode, next episode, we're putting him in a place where he's going to grow as a character, which I'm really hoping they do. Because again, that's the line they're walking with Gordon this season, just in the show in general, is that Gordon's learning curve, it's kind of developing slower than it should. But then again, if they develop it too much, then of course he's too fully formed, and then again, where's Batman in the mix? That's
the whole risk, right? I mean, and you can say the same thing about developing Bruce Wayne too fast as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you can't with Gordon, you can't make him too reckless, but you can't. It's like keep the youthful zeal, like the discovery of Gordon, but you can't just make him too reckless and too. It looks like he's not learning anything, which is a problem. You have to show it's a learning. It's like Gordon's character arc is that he's becoming more hopeless, which is kind of a hard one to pull off. So you got to give him that when you think about that in the grand scheme.
Sure.
Also, one more thing. We should probably discuss this. What do you think about kind of the whole? I'm worried about kind of the Gordon killing a guy reveal with Barnes' like whole law and order thing. Like the one exception he needs. Like how do you think that's going to pan out?
Yeah, that's true. We still haven't gotten Gordon confessing to that
yet.
So.
With the revelation here, a part of me thinks that I'm a little worried we're not going to address that because of that scene they had. I don't know. Like, I'm worried they're going to...
That would be a major missed opportunity because, like, the whole point of that cliffhanger in the first episode was that it's got to come around and bite Gordon in the ass somehow. Or else what's the point of having that as a cliffhanger to begin with?
That's the thing.
That kind of set the tone for the whole season.
That's the thing. It's a worry that again, of course, in crossing the line, what you did for the greater good, and now kind of being faced with that issue. I'm worrying that they're just going to sweep that under the rug with kind of this episode entirely of that. He talked it over with Barnes, and it was pointed at Gordon on this path. It's not going to have good things happen to him, but so he might just not tell Barnes at all. But again, Penguin at some point will probably spill the beans on him.
I very much hope that's not the case, but
the only other thing is that what I'm hoping the smart way they can go about this last thing. So the only way they can really get out of that pickle is that if they just, if Gordon tells Barnes about this and Barnes is smart enough to look past it, just saying, well, I literally know what you've been through with that experience. I mean, look, I'm not happy about it at all, but basically go through and like in the episode, but just like don't make it like a sticking point of like you lied to me, you're fired for the 3rd time. As long as they don't
Barnes suddenly has a British accent.
So as long as they don't do that, I think they'll be fine. Just do like the smart progression of like you lied to me, but I understand where that's coming from. I forgive you, but because I have respect for you.
Mm-hmm.
If they do that, it'll go off swimmingly. Otherwise, it's going to be a little muddy, and I'm a little worried about it. Moving on, this episode was solid. That's all.
It was for sure. All right, so I think that's about it. Let's wrap it up.
So remember, kids, no matter how dark and scary the world may be right now, there will be light. There definitely will be light next episode.
Oh, yeah. Until next time when we go exploring Gotham yet again. What do I do with a Leonard? You kill him, of course.